Welcome to Talk About Topeka. I'm Chris Schultz. Tonight is the second half of my interview with Scott Gales over at Architect One. We had such a great conversation, I couldn't let anyone miss out. But first, we also went out to the Touch a Truck event in downtown this Labor Day weekend. I was in the neighborhood and, well, you know, it was pretty much happening outside my door, and with all the kids banging away on the horns having a great time, it was pretty hard to ignore. Then, if you caught our show a couple weeks ago at the Railroad Festival, we saw so many great things we couldn't fit them all into one episode, so we'll have a few additional scenes later on tonight. This episode was sponsored by the WIBW channels and Field of Greens, downtown's best spot for a healthy lunch every business day. It all starts right now. It was a beautiful Labor Day weekend in downtown Topeka for the first, hopefully annual, Touch a Truck event. Kids from ages 1 to 101 all had a great time exploring the trucks that keep our world ticking.
Touch a Truck is just an opportunity over Labor Day weekend to bring kids down to learn about the construction industry and the people that build our cities and serve our cities, and then just an opportunity to get up close to vehicles that you typically don't get to see or get up close next to. Climb in the cabs, climb in the buckets of the bucket trucks here. It's just a fun thing for kids to do, and it gets people downtown, gets them to, maybe they've never been downtown, and this is a good opportunity, a good free event to come down and spend the afternoon.
Well, Touch a Truck is a brand new event for downtown. Next year we're going to have a redevelopment project starting. Things are going to be torn up for a couple years, and we just want people to get used to the fact that there will be trucks and cranes and all kinds of vehicles downtown, but it represents progress, and so we want people to get used to it, to have a chance to touch them, get on them, play around them, and just have a fun time in downtown. We actually started talking about this at the first of the year, and of course anything this big takes a lot of time and effort, and so it's been months in the making. There's been a Labor Day parade downtown for years, and the organizers of that parade weren't able to do it this year. So this kind of takes the place of that. It brings a lot of people that do great things and work hard for a living to showcase what they do and some of the vehicles they work with in downtown, so people can still enjoy a great Labor Day weekend.
I work for an architecture firm, so I work with a lot of the contractors. It's finding out who has the equipment and who's willing to bring it down, and kind of put out a call to see who's interested. And we had, for the first year, had an overwhelming response of vendors or contractors and other people that wanted to bring their equipment down and show it off. I talked to one guy, he said he was up till 12:30 polishing the fenders on his semi last night to really show it off. You see a lot of smiles on their faces because they don't get this opportunity. They show up to the job site and they've got a job to do. They don't typically get to show up and show off their equipment. So it's an opportunity to showcase what they do, the work that they do, and then get kids interested in those trades and those professions.
They're able to crawl on these trucks, and one of the great things is they get to honk the horns and do a lot of things that they normally couldn't do. So in spite of the fact that it's kind of noisy in the background, the kids are loving it because they're making noise, something they probably have always wanted to do. Did a great job in reaching out to construction companies, the city, and other entities that have big trucks, and everybody wanted to be a part of this. We even have a big sand pile right in the middle of Kansas Avenue for the kids to dig in and to crawl on and just have a great time.
Changes are coming to downtown Topeka, and if it means that we'll see more spectacular community events like Touch a Truck start to rear their heads, then you can totally count us in.
Right now, design work's going on, so you won't see any construction happening until next spring. But when that happens, the east side of Kansas Avenue will start with the infrastructure, new water lines, gas, electricity, and then in 2015, the west side will be the area that everybody works on for the infrastructure. The private sector has committed to raise $1.8 million to do the enhancements above streetscape that the city can't afford to do after they're paying for the infrastructure. So we promised $1.8 million. We've already raised about $1.65 million. We're confident we'll reach that goal, so we're extending ours to $2.2 million so that we can have even greater things to enhance the downtown.
Obviously, we're going to, in the coming years, we're going to see construction equipment downtown, and it's going to start to become the norm for a little while as we rebuild Kansas Avenue and the surrounding streets. So as a sidebar, yeah, this was as kind of a way to kind of a soft opening for construction downtown. And we'd like to make this, I'd like to see this become an annual event over the Labor Day weekend so that it can be and start to draw people from outside of Topeka into knowing that the Touch a Truck event in Topeka is pretty awesome over Labor Day weekend.
Building strong and steady in downtown Topeka, a place for the community to gather. Together, we're certainly getting there. Here at the Great Overland Station, we're going to be taking you all around the Railroad Festival. It's a beautiful Saturday. Let's get started. So you're out here, you're one of the vendors here. Tell us about what it's like out here at the Railroad Festival.
This is actually a really nice day, and the festival is great.
Absolutely.
I got some rockin' tunes to listen to and people to come up and sample my products.
Absolutely. And what are your products?
I sell It Works products, so we sell the Skinny Wrap and other health and wellness supplements.
Very cool. I see samples here. Can I have one?
Yeah, please.
Right
Oh, sorry.
here.
That is our protein bar.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you tell me your opinion on the Royal Baby? Mine too. You been coming out here for a while?
Oh, this is my second year here. I've been here one other year, and I'm down here with Gunsmokes and Petticoats. They're down here doing the gun show.
Oh, excellent. We'll come down and check it out. We're having a blast checking the whole Railroad
They'll have their
Festival out.
shootout at 3 o'clock today.
Oh,
and
cool.
They're good friends of
Right.
mine. I'm not actually in their group, but I've known them for over 20 years, and we're all good friends.
Excellent. Wyatt, well, what's your real name, Wyatt?
My name's James George.
James
Your
George.
first names.
All right. Well, thank you. I thank you for coming out here and
appreciate
making the
it.
festivities that much more fun.
Oh, I'm having a great day. I
All right.
enjoy the company.
All right, thank you. What is A Bit of Kansas?
It's a motorcycle rights organization.
Oh, my kind of people right over here. All right. So what brings you guys out to the Railroad Festival today?
Well, we some of us volunteered to work it. Plus, like I say, we got our 30th annual motorcycle show coming up in March next year, and we're going to be giving away $10,000 at the show.
Where's that going to be at?
At the Expo Center.
All right.
March 14th, 15th, and 16th. So,
Put it on your calendars, folks. You like motorcycles? Come on now.
$5 donation gets you the chance for that drawing for $10,000.
And
also got
$5 for 10 grand. That's not a bad deal as
and
well.
it's better odds than lottery.
That's the truth.
There is a building on Kansas Avenue that used to be a theater that's still there. Do you know which one it is?
Well, the Jayhawk Tower, the Jayhawk Theater over there.
No, on Kansas Avenue,
Where was it?
700 block.
I don't know where that is.
Jersey Mike's
Yeah?
used to be the Cozy Theater.
You know, did there used to be like an IOOF hall or something around that area too, or
I don't know. But when I was a kid, that was the Cozy Theater.
was it really? What kind of stuff did they do there?
Just regular film.
They showed films and everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
And it's a narrow building, as you know, and the seats were on one side and just an aisle went down the other side.
Interesting. I had no idea.
And then City News was there for a long, long time. I was a manager of City News for about 15 years.
Very cool. I know I had been upstairs where now is Clayton Financial, and there had been like a big dance hall or something up there. You'd walk up, I don't remember what that was.
I sort of remember that. And my first job was at Crosby Brothers
Oh, yeah.
when I got out of high school, and then I did the Flint Hills Jubilee in the Jayhawk Theater.
Wow.
I produced, directed, and emceed that one.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You had a plenty money to get me some money. Had a plenty
how are you, Scott?
Good.
to
Welcome
see
to
you.
Architect One.
Absolutely. Well, take us on a tour of the place.
Well,
Let's see what you got.
By cutting the openings out to our outdoor office space, brings all the natural light into the lobby space, so you don't just come up into a dark area. We've prepared a nice conference room space that opens up onto the avenue. We stripped the plaster that was on the party wall that we share with the building next door off, and kind of the back third of our lot is a parking lot.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, that's,
that's nice.
something everybody talks about.
It's since this building was originally housing a savings and loan, it had a drive-through. There's only 4 of them downtown right now.
So we're on top of the drive-through.
We're on top of the drive-through. You are here on the avenue. You know, for us, this feels like the big city. So
you got a great seat over here. Let's take a seat for a minute.
Yep.
A wonderful day in downtown Topeka, and I mean, we're talking about things happening in downtown. And you guys did, and you said earlier, you know, you were all around and you decided to come downtown. Why did you do that?
Well, Mike, my business partner, is originally from Topeka, and I'm not. I'm from a small town, but when I grew up, our downtown, our main street, was kind of the hub of the town. That's where everything happened. You know, we'd go down there on Wednesdays or Thursday evenings, and the stores would be open, and that's where the movie theater was. And I kind of grew up in a community where everyone you knew, you saw them downtown. You know, if it wasn't at a school function, it was downtown. And so it was part of my, raising. It was part of what I expected kind of community life would be. So, coming to Topeka and initially starting in the downtown area, I liked it. My wife was is an RN, and so she would always go to work early. I would come downtown early. I would go eat breakfast at the Downtowner, and I would come over and work at our office. And then you'd eat downtown. Many times I would never go anywhere in my car unless I had to go run an errand, for business purposes, because we did a lot of our transaction downtown.
Yeah.
Well, I found that after we moved southwest with our office, and I liked the office we were in. We owned it, and I liked that part of town. It's a nice area, but anytime we had to do something, I had to hop in my car, whether it was to go eat lunch or to meet with clients, unless they were coming to our office.
Yeah.
We were constantly traveling, and we spent a lot of our time traveling to meetings or events in the downtown area. And I've kind of found that since we've moved here in June, which it's now getting 2.5, 3 months, I've only been to that part of town 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And yet there's days here, 2 or 3 days a week, where my car never leaves the drive-through where we park.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of my transactions, meeting clients at a coffee shop, or I'm meeting at a restaurant for lunch, or...
And you still you have a spectacular place now that they're going to want to come and meet you.
In fact, we've found that it's made it that much more interesting. Folks want to come down here and visit our space, or they've got other business to do down here. And so they're coming down here to do other transactions, stopping in to meet with us. Whereas where we were located on the southwest part of town, it was a great setting, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like that was the core of where commerce and business occurred. I mean, it was a perfect setting for a suburban style office environment, but it wasn't suitable to do a concentrated amount of business. It's exciting for us. We like the energy of being down here. Our staff like the cool kind of environment of being in the downtown. They also like being able to walk and go eat lunch or go get a snack, or after work we walk over to Celtic Fox or some of the other places and get a cold beer. So that it is a convenience factor that being downtown that you don't do somewhere where you have to drive to work and then drive anywhere else. So
and I know myself, and I've been seeing a lot of folks moving their businesses, sure, but a lot of people are moving their residences down here. I did, and there's several others in our block here that have one of them sold their house in Sherwood and bought a place and lives down here now. And there's a lot of energy and drive about living down here, which is another great thing happening.
I think for folks that don't necessarily need a yard, or they're at a place in their life where having an outdoor yard, for kids to run around is not where they're at in life anymore, or they're young professionals and haven't gotten to a point where that's important to them, and living in a downtown setting in an apartment, maybe even with a balcony or something that overlooks the avenue, is an experience that's exciting, and it's got a lot of energy, and it allows you to do kind of some things kind of on an urban scale and kind of an urban lifestyle that we see in the big cities, but people don't kind of realize that opportunity is here in downtown. It's just taking advantage of it. And the reality is there are quite a few buildings down here that are just perfect fits. If folks want to come down and using a little creativity, think through how they can reinvest in them and do it in a way they don't necessarily break the bank, but they do it. They can either do it kind of in a phased level, or approach it from the perspective of we only need to have it so much finished because we can live in it a little bare bones and make improvements as we go.
Yeah.
But many of us buy a home when we get started with the same mindset. We buy kind of in a starter level, and then we make improvements, and then we either
Turn it
outgrow
into
it or
something we want.
right,
Or,
and then we transition to something different in life, and we flip it and kind of get a return on our investment. That opportunity exists downtown, especially if you're a small business owner like yourself, and you want a storefront to start your business or to expand your business, live upstairs. Hey, there's lots of that opportunity, and I think folks are now kind of seeing that it's been a missed opportunity for the last several decades, and kind of rethinking that. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I absolutely think, and I know you guys have been really involved with the downtown plan that's been going on. To kind of talk about your involvement a little bit with that.
So really the project, what it is it's a 4-block area of Kansas Avenue from 6th Street to 10th Street. It's part of the avenue that has really not had any improvements on it for more than 25 years. Now, we're not talking the buildings, we're talking about the right-of-way where the streets and the utilities and the walks are. And if you walk the avenue, you can see that it is in disrepair and
needs some help.
It does, and it kind of is looking rough around the edges. So it's been 5 or 10 years in the makings as far as, hey, it's time to do something. It's also kind of a way to step back and look, if we're going to make those improvements, what can we do here to really kind of make it unique and make it express who we are as a community, do it in a way that maybe tells a little bit about the history of who we are as a community and as a state, and with the kind of reemergence of the arts community that's come out of the Noto project on the north side of the river, maybe take advantage of kind of a way to showcase some of the creativity and sculpture and art in the downtown area, and maybe integrate that into the design of how things are put into the avenue. The focus is on kind of the pedestrian experience. We heard time and again, cars don't buy things, people do. So when we approach the solution for how to finalize the designs, we want to make it a pedestrian experience. And you can go to communities in the northern half of the United States and the southern half of the United States, and you might say it's too hot to have an outside downtown, or it's too cold, and yet you go to those places and you visit them, whether it's in the Rockies or in Minnesota or what have you, and they have fantastic downtown areas that are outdoor oriented, and because people take advantage of them year round, they make do with it, and they reinvest in it, and I think that's what's exciting to see happen. Where we're at, kind of a brief summary. The engineering team that's redesigning all the utility infrastructure as well as the traffic roads and walks are nearing kind of their preliminary design concepts, which is allowing us then to kind of move in and start to engage the various design ideas that are being integrated into the pedestrian or walk areas, and start to tie everything together. It's late August, and I'm guessing in the next 4 to 6 weeks you'll start to see some of the kind of final conceptual designs come out and be made public.
Sure.
So the hope being is that as early as next, probably February and March, you'll actually see kind of the full-on construction start. And right now I think they're going to approach it from doing one side of the avenue, the east or the west side first, and go kind of basically from 6th to 10th or 10th to 6th and finish that side. That way traffic can continue on the other side, and then flip over and do the other side. So kind of one side will be done in 2014, the other side will be done in 2015.
Very interesting.
There's a lot of work to be done below grade, and the cool thing about it is in the next month they're going to have an actual scheduled event where they're going to block off about half a block, kind of define the area and bring in some heavy equipment and actually dig a large opening in the ground and expose
the touch-a-truck thing.
Yes, well, in this case they're going to expose the old trolley tracks.
Oh, cool.
And let everybody see what was originally there, back in the early 20th century. So
that's that
cool. Was a pretty substantial transportation system down through downtown, and it kind of spread out east and west of Topeka, actually went as far as Shawnee Lake. So
that's right, and a lot of this stuff that, people are surprised, would be very surprised if they knew what was underneath this. So I think there's going to be some surprises. That's right.
Let's have a reason for people to come downtown. So.
Hopefully we don't find Jimmy Hoffa.
We'll finally put that to rest.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so we're excited about it. I think what's great is to see all the folks that have gotten involved and kind of the community interest. And what's amazing is, even though the work hasn't started and there's some anxiety about the impact that it could have on the smaller businesses, I think I heard recently DTI said as many as 5 buildings have been purchased in the last 6 months alone downtown, which is more that occurred in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think folks are kind of waking up to the idea that now's the time to reinvest downtown.
It's happening, you know, and the interesting part that I think is cool is that you've got 2 components to this thing, and how people are donating a lot of money over here to put in these amenities to make this something special. The community is doing that. The city has realized that there's problems with this infrastructure, not only with the streets, but that we've got flooding sewers. They're putting their chunk in. The private sector's putting their chunk in, and this is the thing that has been, the input from the community has been asked for in mass, and so this input's been put together. The funding has been working together. This is a community-wide thing here. This isn't just one person making this happen. There are a lot of people who have really come to the table to make this happen for the good of the city.
Yes, it's interesting you say that. In May, there was a group that got together and took kind of a non-performing foundation and kind of retooled it and got it geared back up. It was kind of put together 20 years ago to kind of oversee the improvements in downtown, but was never utilized, and so that foundation was kind of re-energized. Started engaging the community in making those private dollar contributions for the amenity package that we've talked about, that the city had tasked us with, doing when they made the pledge of nearly $6 million for the roads and utilities. The city said, look, we expect you to raise about $1.8 million, and that seemed a little overwhelming at first, but there was a couple core businesses that stepped up and made a fairly sizable contribution. To date, we have over 40 donors. That's just in that 3-month window that we've been doing this actively, and we've raised nearly $1.7 million of the 1.8. So we are nearly at the original goal. And since work won't start till next spring on the actual implementation of everything, it's our goal to kind of exceed that and kind of have a little reserve, as well as maybe make sure we can do all the enhancements we'd like to do when it's all said and done. So it's exciting to see that as a community we responded to that challenge from our city council and have stepped up and backed that up with the private dollars. So that's pretty exciting.
I think it is too. It's a good reason to be a Topekan, folks.
Absolutely.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for having us.
You bet.
You really have done some spectacular work, and welcome back to the downtown area. We're glad to have you here.
You don't need an invitation, Chris. You're always welcome to come over, and I'm guessing you'll probably see us over here a lot. So
we're going to put the zip line in like right over here.
Well, we'll put our orders in on a regular basis. You don't have to deliver them personally, but once they're here, you're always welcome to come over.
Awesome. So, very good. Very good.
Thanks for coming by.
Hey, thank you. We really appreciate it. Great work here.
Well, we appreciate it. We've still got some loose ends, but when it's all said and done, we're excited to be downtown, and we're excited what we've been able to do with the building in order to move here. So,
thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
This episode was sponsored by the WIBW channels and Field of Greens, downtown's best spot for a healthy lunch each and every business day. We'll see you here next week, but until then, visit us online, check out the Topeka newsletter, and look into a mirror and say, "Talk about Topeka" 3 times. Like a good neighbor, I'll be there, watching you. Keep talking about Topeka.